I'm so sorry that my lighting is shit. I've had this on my mind for a while, and I just feel compelled to get into it, even though it is bedtime and I am tired. Since having a sort of detox from codependency and my emotional dependency behaviors that are very much taught, um, very much reinforced through society, I'm actually feeling compelled to at some point do some sort of analytical breakdown of popular TV shows or songs, including Fetty Wap's again, because that song is so fun. The message, deeply codependent, toxic, and sick. That is a sick man who needs therapy. And like all of the media is like this, but that's not the point. Since, kind of getting off of social media and not mining my life for value and being more considerate of like what's worth sharing and why I want to share things, and really picking apart this belief that thought I thought that my emotional state could be alleviated through something, whether that's maybe distraction, food, or people. Very much people. I thought that, like, if I had a problem or a bad day or some sort of situation, if I could call someone or talk to someone, that would alleviate my situation and would make it better. Because, we're taught that, like, oh, connection is good and, like, you want to, like, rely on people and all this stuff. But I was living in a world where I thought that by rehashing all my problems to one person and then the next person and the next person, that I would get some sort of clarity or perspective or resolution or aha moment, which, although people can help you see things that you can't always see, that is not the case. And I feel like that was something that I was also through codependency experiencing in a relationship, where it's like a lot of times people do think that their relationship is the thing that can help make their life better, give them happiness, a sense of purpose. But I realized I like ran this weird hypothetical through my mind where I was like, let's say I have a partner who I'm like deriving my happiness from, and we're on the Target doing some mundane shit, and they're not paying attention to me. I look over and I look at them and I just feel empty inside. And I've had that feeling before where I wasn't getting the happiness that I expected from a partner. And I'm realizing that in expecting or hoping to, or anticipating that you'll derive some sort of happiness from a relationship, a partner, or a friendship, it actually makes you more empty, more sad than if you are like a full happy person who is just like enjoying the time of another person. I'm not saying that when you end a friendship or a relationship that doesn't constitute grieving. But so much media is phrased in this way, especially songs, that like we need someone and that like someone else can make everything all better, and that like we can almost like be saved, like there's some sort of redemption to be found in the arms of someone else, that just kind of like. And it's crazy because sometimes when you are in a relationship, like I've experienced this, like the mundane things become wonderful. Like it makes life more fun. And like I typed into Reddit, I'm like, I miss being in a relationship. And the people on Reddit could confirm, yeah, being in a relationship is really fun. But I think the issue is when you lose your personhood, you lose your own sense of happiness. And it was funny because I was looking back through old letters that I had written up to my ex, and I was like, I identified, like, literally just that I was deriving my happiness for him and that I may reach out to him in the future once I find my own happiness again. It's just so interesting to understand that this deeply ingrained belief that my feelings, like that, like the horrors of being a human, the horrors of being alive, and everything that comes with living and being a person. Sorry, I'm shaking my phone. Can be lessened, remedied, or alleviated by another person are just so backwards. Because a person might be able to make you feel temporarily better or soothe you a little bit, but like, if you can't soothe yourself, you're ultimately going to be worse off. And like that base emotion that you're struggling with doesn't go away. It does not go away. And if when I am using another person to mediate and regulate my emotions, that's not sustainable or self-sufficient, that's not a long-term plan. Because like rarely do people who get into relationships end up staying in them for the long haul. Rarely when you are aligned with someone for a little bit of time does that turn into a lifetime of alignment. And the same applies with social media. Like, I feel like I can recognize that I was regulating my feelings through social media with this need to share and post, gain some sort of validation, or create some sort of capital or value out of my life. Thinking that if I could share my feelings or share my life, that my life would become more real, more intense, more fun, which actually I'm going to make a whole separate video about, because social media is all photos based. And I have a great thesis about photos. So life feeling more real through photos is something I'll touch on. But also thinking that like, if I can offload my feelings onto a platform, that'll make them easier to deal with, when really it's kind of just like stretching out the process instead of just like being present, having the feeling, understanding where it's coming from, or maybe not, or accepting that maybe you don't know where it's coming from, and then like deciding to handle the situation in a mature way. Maybe someone does something that upsets you. You aren't going to feel better by telling. I never felt better by telling a bunch of people, by telling social media, by telling your friends. It doesn't like make you less angry. It just keeps you in that state of like haven't actually sorted through what you experienced. And I've noticed that like I still have this compulsion to share certain things about myself. Like, for example, like my car is a slow accelerator. And so I was like, oh, I should get like a bumper sticker that like, warns people that I'm a slow accelerator but a fast driver. And I'm like, why do I feel the need to communicate that to someone? And I was mulling this over with my friend, and she was like, yeah, well, like if you're like a bad driver and you put like a bad driver bumper sticker on you, and then maybe if like people are being mean to you, then like people would be less mean to you, which one isn't even happening to me. No one's being mean to me when I'm driving or being unsafe towards me when I'm driving. So it's not like an actual safety concern. But then I was thinking, I'm like, if you put on a bumper sticker so that people will feel less angry at you, you're trying to regulate their feelings. And if you're putting a bumper sticker on your car to try to hope that other people will be less angry towards you because you're having trouble dealing with the anger, like, you're using a bumper sticker to regulate your feelings or help regulate your feelings or whatever. And I realize that maybe there's a little bit more nuance to this, but it's just very extremely interesting to me as I'm being almost hyper aware of the things I listen to and the media that's out there in the world and the ideas that were given and the way that the platforms and the relationships lend themselves to this. And then ultimately realizing that, like, the thing that I thought they were doing was actually making it worse. Like, when saying to, like, when you get on social media because you're anxious, but it just makes you more anxious. Like, exactly like that, you know? I'm sad, so I'm gonna go tell all my friends about how sad I am. Girl, I'm just crying more. I'm not crying less by thinking about it for longer. So, I've been thinking about this for a while, and I just kind of wanted to get it out there and finally make a video, because I was kind of putting off all my video ideas because I don't have an appropriate microphone. But I don't know if I have the budget to get a good lav mic, because I'm looking at all these lav mics and I'm like, these like $20 ones, I do not like the audio quality. It might be less tinny and echoey than my phone, but it's not less tinny and echoey to the point where it's worth spending the $20 on. I'll probably just save up like $50 and get an actual good one, but that's not the point. I made my little video, my bad lighting and my bad audio quality, and it's gonna be out there.